Hi, this is Nick from LinkSentry. Today, we will discuss what domain parking is, why people are using it to make passive income online, and what are the dangers that users are exposed to when they visit a parked domain name. Don't forget to audit your site against malicious, unwanted, and parked links at linksentry.io. So, what is domain parking? If we go to YouTube and we search for domain parking, we will see a lot of tutorials that explain how to park domain names, how to make a lot of money with domain parking, how much money each one of these YouTubers makes, and how easy it is to park domain names and somehow earn passive income on them. But what is it really? If we go to one of the largest companies that does domain parking, essentially they promise that you can earn money and sell your domains more quickly. And the general idea of domain parking is that if you have 1, 10, 100, or 1,000 unused domain names, instead of just letting them collect dust, you can park them with one of these companies who will then dynamically put ads on these domain names when visited. And so if a user clicks on one of the ads, the domain parking company will split some of that ad income with the owner of the domain name. And that is why all of these YouTubers essentially advocate for using domain parking as a way of making passive income online. And there is many such companies. Sedo is just a popular one. There is Parking Crew. GoDaddy also offers domain parking. So there is 10, 20, 30 companies that all allow you to park your domain name with them and earn a part of the advertising income that they make. Now, you may be wondering, how exactly do users land on these parking domain names so that the parking companies can show ads, so that the users can click on the ads and then split the income with the domain owners? And the dirty secret, unfortunately, of domain parking is that the vast majority of domains that are parked used to be good, popular domain names that had collected a lot of links on the public web before they were allowed to expire. So, this is a website that we used in a recent video, expiredomains.net. And here you can see that about 250,000 domains are expiring or have already expired today on November 1st. So, many of these sites in the 250,000 domains that expired will be linked to by other sites. And so now if someone steps in and registers one of these domain names, let's say walmartfarm.net, that looks like a potential phishing site, they will automatically inherit these 14,000 links from other sites to their new domain name. So now, if they were to actually park this domain name, now users would actually see ads when they visit that domain name, and then they would click on these ads, and the domain parking company will then make some ad income and share that ad income with the domain owner. So let's look at a real example and what is the actual danger of park domain names to everyday users on the web. So the domain name that we will be focusing on is walkingtofreedom.com. This used to be some sort of forum. We can see this by looking at the types of pages that it used to serve, walkingtofreedom.com/forum/something, and more pages related to forums. While the domain rating of walkingtofreedom.com today is low, it still has more than 6,000 backlinks, meaning 6,000 links that point to that domain today. And many of them here are spam. However, a lot of them are links from benign websites that used to be linking to that forum and are still linking to walkingtofreedom.com, even though that domain name expired, was re-registered, and was parked. Here is an example of a site. This is a popular site in the preparedness and survival space, and this is an article from 2023. And if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we see that it's actually linking to walkingtofreedom.com. And this website currently is parked, and we will now switch to a Windows virtual machine to see what is the potential ads that the user would see if they were to click on this walkingtofreedom.com site expecting to go to some sort of forum. We are now in our Windows 10 virtual machine, and we will attempt to visit the walkingtofreedom.com domain name, which is parked, and we will see what the domain parking company will give us depending on its ad inventory and whether there is a malicious advertiser or not in that inventory. So we see a couple of redirections through many domain names, and we will see whether we will land on something that is a little bit malicious or very malicious. So in this case, you see that we landed on totalav.com, and we are being offered some supposedly highly discounted antivirus. I have personally never heard of TotalAV, and we don't really know if this is a benign program that you will download and there is just some affiliate abuse where someone made money once you paid for this program, or whether you will actually end up downloading malware. And we can try to see whether we will get something else by actually switching our VPN connection to another server and visiting that domain name again. So let's do that. So we are switching to a server in the United States, and let's see whether we get a scam that is different from the total AV scam that we saw targeting users on our first attempt. Let's clear our cookies. And let's visit that domain name again, walkingtofreedom.com. And now we see a different set of ads and a very different web page. And the point that I'm making in this video is that where your users will land when they click on a parked domain is a matter of luck. They may get a benign ad, they may get a malicious ad, they may end up downloading a good AV, a fake AV, but it is a domain name that is dangerous because you do not know what will happen to your users when you click on that. So I hope I've convinced you that domain parking may be touted as some sort of passive income opportunity. However, it is terrible for users who browse the web because they can click on a link that will expose them to arbitrarily malicious content. LinkSentry, our link auditing solution, can explicitly detect domain parking links on your site. So if you are one of our clients, you can enable the parked websites policy, and we will continuously monitor all of the external links on your website to find websites that are parked so that you can go ahead and remove them from your website. And we can see here in the violations that we can focus on all the violations that are related to parked websites. And here we see our example with Walking to Freedom. So we are able to detect parked domains parked by many large companies. And if you are the owner of a website and you're linking to a parked domain, that is not a good setup for either you or your users. So thank you for staying with me today. Do not link to parked websites and allow LinkSentry to help you find any malicious links that you have on your website, including links to parked domain names. Help us make the web secure one link at a time.